Hey, what's up, guys? It's Guru Rant. I'm gonna try this again. I'm trying to do like a little mind of a Guru Rant. I think too busy messing with my. I should shave. Anyways, yeah. So what I want to talk about is your perception is your reality. Actually, let's start from the beginning that I had. I just had it going for a couple minutes. I've been on this giant rant. But then the computer or slowed down or something happened magically. I don't know if the video stopped working, so I had to do a new one. Auto magically. It never does that when I'm alone, but when there's people in the house. Anyways, so let's talk about your perception, shall we? Before I want to talk about that, let's actually bring it back to the point that I was at because it's most fresh in my mind, and I believe we should start from the beginning before we start from the finish. Yeah. So, um, in the beginning there was light. No, just kidding. I'm not gonna go religious on you. But we all know there are cells or subatomic particles that are, whatever you want to call them, that are vibrating at a certain uh, frequency. Thank you. And why they're vibrating, I think it's more about them running into each other and more uh, and synchronized world. They kind of just run into each other, bing, 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 and then so they're all hitting each other super fast, super fast, super fast, and it's moving so fast. It looks like one image, right? Looks like my hand. So yeah, it looks like kind of like one blurry image instead of my hand moving, because you can't comprehend. Because it's moving slower. So your mind is moving a lot slower than your outside reality. When I can feel people's minds breaking. Then allow me to explain, okay? So your world is moving at extremely fast rate. All these cells and stuff and everything are vibrating at a completely fast, super fast. Yes.
Time to eat.
Okay. And operating at super fast vibration, so fast you can't even see them moving, just like my hand, like I did that earlier. So our mind kind of paints an image of what we expect to see. Okay, let me explain this way. Here's a cup. One would say this cup is not moving very fast. That's because the cup as a total is not moving very fast at all. We're not talking about gravity. Come on, we're not going there, guys. We're not talking about how the world is spinning, okay? To our perception, this cup is not moving. And then we could add like it's moving at like whatever speed that the Earth wants it to move. Then the cup is moving, is it not? So that's the flip of perception. But I just want to bring this up for a different demonstration. Okay, so the cup is not moving. But everything inside the cup has to be moving to make the cup solid, or else it'd be completely dense. And we know that's not the truth. We know there are things inside there that are moving, cells, subatomic particles, whatever you want to call it. I'm just gonna call them cells for right now, or things that move that are really tiny. Because no matter what you call them, they're still gonna be there. They're still gonna do the same thing. So all these things are moving, colliding, and creating. They won't expand outwards. They'll stay inside the little structure that they've made for themselves. But then they'll keep doing that, the vibrations and stuff. So it'll seem solid, but it most entirely it is just an image, just a bunch of little things going back and forth super fast. I understand this happens with us too. So let's say, and we're moving at the same frequency. Everything inside the physical is usually moving Well, I mean, everything, all the cells, so the physical, are usually moving at the same frequency, um, for the most part. Um, so let's say, okay, I'm cool right now. I'm not raising any vibes or whatever, so I should be operating at slightly higher than normal. But I touch the cup and it doesn't go through. Why? Because all these different particles that are colliding with everything, as soon as you touch them, they will collide with each other too. Um, is there a way you can cut through low volume particles that aren't moving as fast as you are? Yeah, but you'd have to be like super, super fast. Now we're talking about like the basis of energy and where it comes from and stuff. So bear with me. This is a very high vibe topic. Very high vibe topic. So yeah, Earthers might get lost. And all this movement creates energy, right? We know this. Every object in motion creates what we call kinetic energy. So these cells that are in motion are creating an energy. Um, whatever energy you really want to call it, because it's just a different perspective. All the energies, I mean, all these cells that are moving inside our body and vibrating and creating this energy, we call it chi, we call it life force, we call it reiki, we call it prana. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. It's the same thing out there. It's the same energy out there. They're all moving. Yes, it's the same energy. Please contest that from a lower plateau. See how that breaks for you. Um, I'll keep you guys updated. No, it is the same energy. It's always been the same energy. We just create boundaries to separate different ideas from each other so they do not become entwined. Because the value is in their separation and not inside their unity. Although we are all still linked in unity with each other's, because all these things are still in contact, right? All these cells, all these energy, whatever aspect you want to look at it, they're connected somehow, some way. I'm connected to the air, which is connected to that. God damn this! I hate this. All right, so that little. Let's use this one for air, right? So, um, all these things, uh, all these cells in my body are giving out like an energy flux, okay? Because they're moving around and they're expending a lot of energy doing that. I mean, they're not expending any energy; they're creating energy by moving. But yeah, so all that movement creates like a blurry little image, right? So if I wanted to, I could expand a little bit, and yeah, this is trying to trying to relate this down to the most vibes. It's like all these things are repeating. Think of like a net or something. No, think of like a grid, like the Matrix. Okay, you know how the numbers are all falling down the screen, but then they kind of look together at the same time. That's kind of what it's doing, but it's a little bit different. And the more organized you are, the more synchronistic you become, the more expanded you can expand your energy fields. Because once you're at a higher frequency, you can kind of move out a little bit more, you know. And if you're more synchronized, if you got all those cells, because right now, like I said, remember how I was talking about how the cells, they with the patterns that hit each other at a low vibe is very unsynchronistic, very bad. Not very bad, but it's very conflicting. They hit each other. Okay, at the most natural high vibe, these cells don't even come in contact with each other. They race in harmony in parallel to create an image or a belief structure or that the one wants to create. The one being the one energy. So it's hard to explain. Let me just talk to the high fibers for right now. If we wanted to, we could expand this energy. Let's see, I'm fucking up my camera. I'm just trying not to draw too much energy, but if we wanted to, We can draw in energy from all these different. You won't be able to take the cells themselves, right? Because that physicality will always remain there, unless you alter. You act as one through the energy fields, correct? Like we're using this fucking camera. All right, so see that photo right there? We'll use that for example. If we wanted to, if we had a high vibe enough state, high frequency, and everything was in this room was operating in a nice synchronistic pattern, synchronistic, it's like a more harmonic state. If they were going in parallel, in tandem with each other, and not in conflict, but in peace and harmony, we could do stuff like move that picture off of the dresser with a simple thought, right? Because you being synchronous, like say I would want that picture over here, and because it's not like you're gonna destroy the photo or whatever. But then, yeah. So if you're at the most synchronistic things, and the most synchronistic frequency, the highest of frequencies. God, they're just trying to drag me down now because I don't fucking want to eat with them. Uh, so express a little bit of anger to be reflected. Hello. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not, but if you raise your frequency up to a higher frequency, all the cells start interacting with everything in a more harmonic state, and you can expand your consciousness to a point where you can kind of move other objects or other material things without even have to lift a finger. Um, yeah, I may gotta stop this because I lost video.